Usually, when we see Joseph and Mary on Christmas, they're comfortable and warm and they're holding the newborn baby Jesus between them. But this is Christmas Eve. And so this is the story about waiting for Jesus to be born. But first, Joseph and Mary are on the road. By the time they arrived in Bethlehem late that night, Joseph and Mary had been on the road for several days. It took a while to get from Nazareth to Bethlehem on foot. Mary was very, very pregnant, and so it was uncomfortable for her to walk and uncomfortable for her to ride the donkey. She was so relieved when the lights of Bethlehem came into view. They thought their journey was almost over, and all they needed to do was find a place to stay. They came to the very first inn on the road and knocked on the door. The innkeeper threw open the door and said, "We don't have any rooms. The whole town is full. Everyone's here to pay their taxes. You probably better go on down the road." And so Joseph and Mary thought, well, we have to do this a little while longer. And on they went down the road to the next inn. This inn had a sign that said, "No vacancy." But they were feeling a little anxious because Mary was becoming clear that the baby was going to arrive that night. And so they knocked on the door anyway. The innkeeper came to the door and said, "Can't you read? There's a sign on the door that says no vacancy." Joseph said, "Yes, there is, but my wife's about to have a baby. We really need a place to stay." And the innkeeper said, "Well, I'm sorry, but the town's full. My inn is full. There's no room for you here. Get going." This happened over and over. Mary and Joseph were getting increasingly worried that baby would not have a safe place to be born. They tried every place. They knocked on doors that weren't even the doors of inns. Wherever they went, people told them the same thing. "The town is full, our inn is full, our house is full. There is no room for you." Finally, they stumbled, exhausted, to the last inn on the main road. They were sore and tired and hungry and feeling a little desperate. And though there was a sign on this door too, they knocked anyway. And just as they had come to expect, the innkeeper threw open the door and said, "Get lost. There's no room for you here." And Joseph said, "Yes, but my wife is about to have a baby." And the innkeeper said, "That's not my problem. You should have prepared better." And Mary stepped forward with her hands on her very large stomach and said, "I don't want any of your stinky rooms anyway. Perhaps you have a stable where we could rest." And the innkeeper said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do." And so Mary and Joseph, at long last, collapsed into the stable. There was hay for the donkey and a manger full of hay where Mary thought perhaps she could lay the baby Jesus when he was born. They were so relieved that they both just sat down and wept. The animals in the stable gathered around them, and their kind, warm eyes seemed to say, "You're safe here. It's warm here, and we'll wait with you for that baby to be born." I wonder if you know what it's like to be out in the cold. I wonder if you have ever been turned away. I wonder which is your favorite part of the story. I wonder if there is room for Christ where you are.